Fact or follow-up segment tonight. You may remember former Washington, D.C. Mayor Marion, a very flamboyant guy who's been around the block a few times. Well, the mayor called us and said he wanted to talk about Reverend Wright. He joins us now from Washington. Now, I just want to get clear, Mayor. I would not have brought the subject up. You know, I'm done with him for now. Might have to go back to Reverend Wright in the future, but I'm done with him. But I was surprised that even after Barack Obama threw the Reverend Wright under the bus, symbolically, you are still sticking up for the Reverend. Why?
Well, let me say, Bill, I'm not speaking for the Obama campaign or for Senator Obama. And two, Reverend Wright was just a tiny bit of what I asked my director to talk about. I think the press has been more interested in making news rather than reporting news. I'm glad you said you were finished with it. I am too. I think Senator Obama has been very brilliant and comprehensive in his answers, and therefore, you know, I would say this, though. I did see you show Reverend Wright's home and cars and
you bet,
and imply that look, here's what you get for being a hate monger and a patriotic. Not saying that Reverend Wright is the pastor of an 8,000 member church, and more than likely he gets more than six-figure salary, and the church probably provides its own for him.
Okay,
anyway,
but look, put yourself in my position. Put yourself in my position. I'm a Roman Catholic, okay? And the priests that I deal with take vows of poverty, and they live very modestly. And throughout my whole life, that's the way the structure has been. Then I see Reverend Wright telling poor people in Chicago how bad the United States of America is, and that these poor people are getting hosed. And he's using words that are offensive to me and most other Americans. He's not telling the truth, in my opinion, but of course you can debate that. And then I find out, Mayor, that Reverend Wright is moving into a multi-million-dollar home, has a $10 million line of credit, and two Mercedes-Benzes worth $150,000. So, don't you think I should be a little suspicious?
No,
perhaps
absolutely.
Cynical?
Shame on you. What happens is that Reverend Wright's congregation is mostly moderate to middle-income people, not poor people.
No,
and secondly,
that's outside of Chicago. It's all
wait a minute, Bill. Wait a minute, Bill. What do they got to do with Senator Obama? He's running for president of the United States of America.
I didn't tie Senator Obama into that.
Well,
I was just going after Wright. I'm going after Wright as a hypocrite.
We ought to be talking about the issues that Obama stands for. I support him very strongly. Health care, the economy, and other kind of thing. Also, we ought to be talking about how brilliant and how great a campaign he's run. Think about this. Here's a freshman senator, didn't have a national organization, up against what we call in the Bible Goliath, and David has begun to slay Goliath. That's what we got to be talking about.
I agree with you 100% that Barack Obama has run a brilliant campaign so far, and he's taken down one of the most formidable machines in the United States history, the Clinton machine. There's no question about that.
And all the allies.
But I'll tell you what, and I think as a guy who's been around, and you watch this program, I'm a fair man. I'm a fair man.
I won't go that far, but it's all right.
You what?
I won't say you're always fair, but you're straightforward.
I try to be, and if you have a beef with me, you call this up, you're on the air, okay? That's the kind of guy I am. But I'll tell you what,
I appreciate that.
I don't know what Barack Obama believes, even after all this time. Now, when he comes in to sit here, which I think he will in the next 2 or 3 weeks, then I'll know. But right now, I don't know the man, and most Americans don't know him either.
That's not
we
true.
know he's a brilliant campaigner. We know his rhetoric. We don't know him.
Bill.
And all we know is his associations. That's why they're important.
Bill, listen. Most people who read, who listen, know what he stands for. I know I do, and millions of Americans do. Otherwise, they wouldn't vote for him. I think you need to just read more and talk more about it. But I understand your position because you're in the business of
I got to see if he can back up the rhetoric, Reverend.
He can.
I got to see if he can back it up, man.
He's fantastic. Okay. He's going to be our next president. You know that, don't you?
Well, he could very well be our next president. And look, I respect the fact that... Wait, man. I respect the fact that you're on his team and that you believe in him. I would never run you down for that. But he's got to convince me. Barack Obama's got, as a voter, he's got to convince me. He's got to sit here like Hillary Clinton did, like John McCain did, and answer my dopey questions.
Bill, are you Republican or Democrat? What are you?
I'm an independent.
Oh, you're an independent?
Yeah.
You know, I think if Barack spent 40 hours with you, you would never vote for him. That's my view about it.
Well, you think I'm a narrow-minded guy? I don't think so. I'm willing to hear what Barack Obama has to say. All of our polling says American people think I've been very fair to the man, and I have been. And we appreciate, and look, Here's the deal I'm going to make with you, Mr. Mayor.
In the future, spend more time on what he stands for, not on his association.
But we got to hear it from him.
That's McCarthyism.
We got it. All right, McCarthyism.
Right?
We got to hear it from him. But I'll make you a deal. If you don't think I'm fair to him in my coverage between now and November, you call us up.
I will
you
call
come
you.
On.
Come back on again.
You
We'll
bet.
have a great debate.
All right. Thanks, Mr. Mayor. Good to see you.
You know, strange as it may seem, you're one of my heroes too, Bill. Strange as it may seem.
All right. Well, don't spread that around too much, Mr. Mayor.
I
We
get in
appreciate
trouble.
it. Plenty more ahead as the factor moves along.